Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the John Bierchen Show. I am play-by-play voice Kendall Grayson, joined as always by head coach John Bierchen. Thanks everyone for tuning into this week's episode. Coach, your team goes 1-2 this weekend in Buffalo, but I think the highlight really of the entire weekend was the outdoor game that Alabama played on Saturday as they defeated the host of the tournament, Canisius College. An outdoor game that is very rare in even ACHA Division I hockey, but it's a special event. What were you able to take away from that event? Because really, it was a phenomenal show for the fans, and it was an experience that I think all the players and coaches enjoyed.
Well, we couldn't have played at a better time. It was, early in the evening, so it was about, 6 o'clock Eastern time. It was right on the river, so it was beautiful weather, a nice little breeze, so it wasn't too hot, and the ice was pretty well maintained, and it wasn't too cold where you're sitting there freezing on the bench. So I think it was a great atmosphere for the guys, for the program, for all the families that were there this weekend. And then, we even had some fans drive in from Maine, so we certainly appreciate all the support that we got from the families and the fans this weekend and for that game. And, hopefully we can do it again sometime in the future.
Well, Coach, we always try to find interesting topics to discuss here on the show, and something that I don't think that we've really hit this season is officiating. So, specifically, what are some of your thoughts on how the games were officiated this weekend up in Buffalo?
The officiating this weekend probably, unfortunately might have been the worst of the year. I think for the most part, the refs do a really good job. But I think, USA Hockey could do a lot better job of developing the refs. I think, when you look at the way a game should be officiated, a lot of it comes down to, game management. And you sit there and there's a call in the second period or at the end of the second period or the first period when John Lavorde and a Canisius player got called, for coincidentals. And, that's a call that's kind of a game management call because Canisius started getting a little chippy, so you want to keep control of the game. You look at Sunday's game, I really didn't agree with a lot of the calls. We have Thomas Godfrey that got knocked out of the game. You have John Lavorne's tripping call that was questionable, very questionable. And even a more questionable call was Taylor Joseph's cross-check off of the face-off, especially when a team like, ours is down by 2 or 3 goals at the time, and then you put us down by a man. That's just not game management from the refs. And, that's something you let it play out or you give us a power play, to let us, battle back into the game and at least give us a chance. So, I don't want to say games should be really, altered by the refs, but it's certainly there needs to be some type of management. And you can see some of the best refs that move up really quickly, especially from my time in the SPHL. Pete McDougall, a former Cottonmouth, really moved his way up from the SP to the ECHL. Then this year he's on an AHL. I believe it might even be an NHL contract, but I know he's full-time AHL this year. He did a phenomenal job of managing the game. So, that's just really my opinion on officiating and how it should be done. I hope USA Hockey continues to develop their officiating program, but they've done a good job now. They just got to continue to build off that.
Coach, you mentioned Thomas Godfrey. Unfortunately, he went down with an injury this weekend, the first-year player, number 97. If you could just give us some comments about the loss of him, as we do expect him to be out for the entire season with a lower body injury.
Yep, he, like you just mentioned, he is out for the rest of the season with a lower body injury. He will be having surgery. It's an unfortunate loss because I think he's somebody who really, does a good job of embodying what we want to be as a program. He works hard. He blocked a ton of shots this weekend. He always does a really good job of hunting the puck and battling in the corners and stuff and contributing offensively and defensively. So, it's a big loss, but hopefully we can get him back, for the start of next year, and hopefully his rehab goes well. So, thoughts and prayers out to him, and he'll certainly be around. So if you see him, make sure you give him your best wishes.
Well, Coach, we know that you spoke to the Exchange Club in Tuscaloosa earlier today. You've had meetings in the summer as well with a couple of alumni associations, one out of Georgia and one out of Tennessee. So I guess the question is, what are you looking to accomplish when you meet with groups like that?
Well, I think we've really started saying this from day one that, our biggest thing this year is really educating people, about Alabama hockey, the program, the players, everything about it. So, when I go and speak at all these places, whether it was the Exchange Club today, the West Georgia alumni chapter earlier in the summer, along with the East Tennessee alumni chapter, I really just go and kind of educate them on, what is Alabama hockey all about? How does it relate to the university? How does it relate to maybe some of the other athletic programs and kind of comparing and contrasting the two? And and what our vision is for the program down the road. So we really appreciate the support from everybody, and if you are part of an alumni association or a civic group and you would love, whether it's me or one of the players to come and speak, feel free to reach out to us. We always love coming and speaking about the university and the hockey program.
Coach, Alabama had a morning skate last Friday at the home of the Erie Otters, the Erie Insurance Arena. So just talk about that a little bit if you can, and what that experience was like, not only for you as a coach, but for the players as well.
Well, we always talk about how we try to really make our program like an American Hockey League program. So, we try to do kind of professional things like that, kind of more minor league hockey things where we have morning skates, especially on the road. We do have longer trips than most. So, we do a pretty good job here of using our contacts and our connections. So we reached out, to the people at Erie Insurance Arena. They were very accommodating, and, it was great for the guys to be able to get in and first get a skate after a long bus ride through the night. But I think it was a really good way to show, this is how it's done in the pros. This is how professionals go about preparing for a game. And, like I said, the people at Erie Insurance Arena and then the Erie Otters, they do a really good job. They're a top 10 Canadian Hockey League, major junior program. So it was a really good atmosphere for the guys to be in, and hopefully they took away, this is how it's done in the pros. This is how a top 10 major junior program does it, and that's the way we need to go about things to be successful.
Well, Coach, tomorrow is the last home game of the first semester for Alabama. The opponent is Middle Tennessee State. We're certainly looking forward to that matchup, and fans can now go and buy their tickets online at alabamahockeyclub.com. Thanks for watching this week's edition of the John Bierchen Show. For John Bierchen, I'm Kendall Grayson. Hope to see you tomorrow night at the Pelham Civic Complex, 8 o'clock against Middle Tennessee State.